Well, hello Internet, and welcome to my Cracking the Coding interview challenges. And this is where we're gonna have this conversation. Which algorithm? If you guys have any suggestions, leave comment down below. And the reason why I'm having the southern accent today is because I'm a big fan of Banas. Tribute to him. He kind of inspired me to make these tutorials. Subscribe to his channel like I am, and yeah, hopefully meet him in person one day. So today, let's go ahead. This is the list of videos I'm planning to make. Hopefully I'll stick to this thing. And let's start with arrays, left rotation. Alright, so you guys, you can check out the code below, but here is kind of the tutorial. So a left rotation is an operation of an array of size n shifts each of the array elements one unit to the left. For example, if there's two rotations on this array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the array would be 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. So if you kind of take a look, we rotate the thing 2 times. This guy's index, if it starts with 0, this is the third element. And we rotate it 2 times. This guy's index, number 3, is actually 2. So, these kinds of questions, I would kind of have like a temporary thing going on, create like a new array, and then return it, starting from the rotation number. Then like that. So that would be kind of my thing. Since this has an element of 5 elements in it, 1 to 5, I would actually kind of divide the number of rotation. For example, if it's 12, divide by 5, and we know it's going to start from 3 again. So that would be my logic. Let's take a look at the constraints first. All right. So it's 1 to 10 to the power 5. So I think we can keep using the integers or big integers if you prefer. Let's check that out. And then D. So D is the number of rotations that you must perform. It can be like 50, 60, and N is the first line that contains space separated integers. So it's going to be N, the number of integers. Second line contains that line of n space separated integers. It can be like 4, 5, 6, 7 or whatever, doesn't matter. So those numbers 10 to the power of 6, I think we can just kind of work on integers or big integers if you want, or long, doesn't really matter. So let's stick with integers for right now. So we're going to work on Java 8, and we perform, for example, D is 4 rotations. Then since it's going to be 4 rotations, and this is the number of things, so the first rotation is going to look like this. So start with 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1. Second rotation is going to be 3, and then straight up. And then this is going to be the fourth rotation. No, this is the third rotation. And then this is the fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rotations, and it starts with 5. That is the example. So, one tip I'd give you for practicing this interview questions is actually kind of look at the examples first. So once you get the examples first, then you kind of have in your head how to run this whole thing. So always have a good meaty example in the beginning, like the person in this video actually says. So check out this video as well. And once that you have that meat example like here below, then you can understand the question a little bit better. So let's kind of work on this example. So here you have your main function that's going to be pre-built in Hackerrank. And here we're scanning what the input is going to be. And we're getting n here. That's going to be the next int. For example, if the example we have currently is 4 and 5, this n is going to be 5. We know that for certain. And then For k, that's going to be the number of rotations. We're going to have 4, according to this example up here. And then for 1 to 5, we're going to have each of these come as the new integer here. So here we're going to have the numbers from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is going to be the example. So this is our main function. Let's, for good programming, let's create a new, for example, let's have like an array, for example, of the rotated integers to be returned here. And you know, good programming practice, make everything modular. That's kind of something we're gonna do. So let's create a private static integer. Let's make an array of ints here, and let's call this get rotations. So get rotations, we're going to get two things back. So we're going to have int result, let's call this res, and it is going to get, for example, if we put in here the array. So let's have the integer array come in here, let's call it r, and then let's have the number of rotations called int rotation. Let's call it rota. Alright, there we go. So number of rotations, that's going to be, for example, 4. In this example, up here, there's 4 rotations, and then this is the array. And the array size we can get. So let's get the array size here. So integer array dot length. We're going to get the length as a new integer. So we're going to create like a new int here. New int. And once we create that new int res, we're going to return that res. So what we're going to do is actually get the modulus of, so we're going to have like a new index for the results. So how are we going to get the new index? So the way we're going to do it is the modulus of the number of rotations. Alright, so let's create this new index. Let's call this index new rotation index. New rotation index, and that index is going to be a new integer that starts that's going to be starting from for array. So it's going to be like the first one. If it's the fourth one, it's going to start with like 4, for example. So the way we get the first index of array is going to be rota, this guy, number of rotations, modulus the length of array. Length, there we go. So that is going to be the index that's going to be starting from array for the new result. All right. So for our result new array that's going to be rotated, the first one, for example, if it's rotated 4 times, it's going to be res, for example, 0 is going to be array, the 5th element. All right, it's going to be 4. And then after that, in the result, the second value is going to start from array 0. You guys get that? This is the 5th element. This is the first element of array. That's how it's going to be. Because the length is 5. All right, the length is 5, and this is the very last element when it's rotated 4 times. If it was rotated 3 times, this would be starting from the 4th element. All right, you guys get that? So This is an example of how it's going to be. And the second element, if it was rotate 3 times, would be the um, yeah, second element. So the way we're going to do this for this is once we get the first index of array that corresponds with the results first element, we're going to do a for loop for that. So for here is the for loop. It's going to start with int I equals 0, starts with index. If the index is smaller than array's length, and we increase I, we have our new rotation index for array. So the new results first element, that's going to be I, that starts with 0, is going to have the corresponding value of the rotation element of array. So this new rota index, we know the value corresponding with result is going to be, results first index is going to be array's rotation starting index. So if it was rotated, for example, just only 2 times, res 0 would be, result 0 would be arrays, if it goes 2 times, 2 rotations, it's going to be array's third index. Third index of rotation. So that is how it's going to be. So, but this is going to increase every single time. Alright, so that is going to be increased every single time. So this one, we're going to increase starting from I. So, for example, if this rotation is from, for example, 2, for example, and you add 5 to it, and it's going to go 7. So what we want to do here, put this guy in brackets and calculate the modulus. So we're going to add I every time and then modulus array's length. Alright, so if we kind of, got the modulus here and also getting the new rotation and it's returning result. So what we want to do now is actually get the answer. So let's call this int answer, and this answer, answer array, is going to be get rotation with array and the rotation number, that's going to be k. And then once we got that, for each item we're going to iterate. So for each int x in answer array, we're going to print it out. So system out println, and then we got x, and we give it a little bit of space. Now let's see if it runs. And it's processing, and no, it's not println. We don't want the space. We want to have it as a one line. Let's take a look. Yeah, congratulations, we passed the test. So submit the code, see if all the test cases pass. And well, there we go. We passed them all. So if you guys have a better way to do this algorithm, let me know in the comments down below. And I'm gonna get rid of my bullshit accent. That was for fun. Subscribe to Derek Banas. I'm his biggest fan. And you guys can check out the rest of my channel. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care, guys. Peace.